all the good it does for our city each and every single day. So, we are reaching a portion in the tour where I'm going to hop off the mic because I want to let the skyline speak for itself for a little bit. I think it is more than capable of doing so. So I'm going to just hop off, put some music on, allow you folks to take in the gorgeous day we're having out on Lake Michigan today. In the meantime, I'm going to remind you expensive, beautiful, luxurious marble with good old-fashioned North Carolina granite. And while they were making this decision, they were in meetings with contractors, and they said, all right, contractors, how much is this going to cost us? We're all adults here. Lay it on us. Be honest with us. And the contractors said $1 million. And the owners of the building said, wow, that's not that bad at all. I could do $1 million. I thought that was going to be way worse. Hey, do it twice. Friending this person. Because that means that they're probably very wealthy. Perhaps famous as well, because of course, since this is the only piece of private residence directly on the lake, it is very exclusive, very private, and has been. So, let's talk about what we've got here on our left-hand side. This building that wiggles and bends as it moves its way up into the sky. This is the St. Regis. St. Regis was completed into Earth, designed by a woman. That's right. Lake Point Tower was designed by the architect Jeannie Gang, based out of Studio Gang, right here in Chicago, Illinois. And she, the tallest building on Earth, designed by a woman. The previous title holder is actually only about 2 blocks away. If you look at this building that is currently being obscured slightly, the building with the white curving balconies. This building is called Aqua. It was completed in 2009. Saba Bridge is named after them. Moving along. Continuing on our right-hand side, I want to point out this white building that's going to be right next to us with the clock tower on top. This is the Wrigley Building. The Wrigley Building is the house that Chewing Gum built because all the way back in the 1800s, Mr. Wrigley was a soap salesman that was included in it. Luckily, he was smart enough to pivot his business strategy, and it has paid off the billions of dollars since. Out of juicy fruit, my friends. Moving on, I want to talk about my very favorite building that I get to talk about on my tour. These 2 towers that mirror one another as they shoot up into the sky with the gorgeous scalloping balconies. This was designed by the architect Bertrand Goldberg in the 1960s. Goldberg was a really radical thinker in his day and age because while many were building in the international modernist style of architecture, like AMA Plaza right next door here, lots of glass, no right angles in his buildings. That is what has given us these gorgeous scalloping balconies that shoot up into the air, rather hypnotically, might you say. But Chicagoans took one look at them and decided they looked a whole lot more like cobs of corn, so that is what they referred to them as. Marina City was also designed to serve as a city within a city, holding all the amenities its residents could possibly need inside. Groceries. What is probably the most difficult job in the city, which is being the parking attendant responsible for assuring that none of the cars in the parking garage on the lower levels fall into the Chicago River. I do not envy the person who has to park all of those cars. On the right-hand side, you can see 6 banks of windows. On the left-hand side, however, and line them up end to end to end, you could travel by foot from Chicago to Philadelphia. It's a massive building. Right up next, here on our left-hand side, we got this building that curves ever so slightly with the bend of the confluence of the Chicago River, where we are turning in right now. This is where the main branch meets the north branch and the south branch. And this building honors that curve through an idea in architecture called contextualism. Contextualism is the idea that buildings should stand as reflections of their environments, be that geographic. We used to neglect the Chicago River so much, and it has taken years and years of trying to restore our relationship with the river to get it to be at the point we know it at today. One of the things that has been working actually to restore our relationship with the river is the building we have here on our left-hand side, this last one of the most ecologically friendly buildings on Earth. It is platinum LEED certified. One of the ways it achieves that certification is by using the riverwalk to have a gorgeous symbiotic relationship that is wonderful to see amidst our city's history. Another thing that is a great marker of progress in regards to our relationship with the river is what we've been cruising alongside this whole time, the Chicago Riverwalk. The Riverwalk was only completed in 2016, but you'd be hard-pressed to believe it considering how quickly our city has ingratiated itself to it. People come from around the city to the Riverwalk to go on their morning runs, walk their dogs, catch a bite to eat. People bring laptops to those steps to get work done, read a book, you name it. People will do it at the Riverwalk, which is crazy to think about. Titled through some loopholes. The loopholes being, if you look at eye level, you can see it has doors that go out to its entry to the Riverwalk. If you were to go through those doors, they would lead absolutely nowhere because the International Commission on Tall Buildings says that you can start to measure the height of a building from the lowest point with pedestrian access. Those doors to nowhere are put there to give its silhouette. That spire was also put there only to add height to the building. If you were to actually put Trump Tower next to the number 3 tallest building, the St. Regis would actually come out to be about 10 stories taller in terms of actual stories that you can physically go onto than Trump Tower. But because of that massive spire on top and those doors down below, Trump Tower is able to secure that number 2 position. So we are making our